Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I want to give you all my first impressions on episode Gladiolus, the first story DLC for Final Fantasy 15. Please keep in mind that there will be spoilers in this video, both regarding the main game and the story of episode Gladiolus, so watch at your own discretion. Additionally, the footage you are seeing here is from GameSpot, so please go to their original content in the description of the video and show their channel some support. The footage they uploaded was for the first 15 minutes of the DLC, but I actually had the opportunity to play about 40 minutes of the DLC, so my impressions will be based off that. The story for episode Gladiolus takes place after the Chocobros encounter Ravus in the main game. Gladio, who was humiliated by Ravus, breaks away from the party to get stronger so that he can actually protect Prince Noctis. To achieve this, he reaches out to Corleonis and requests that he be taken to meet the Blade Master, Gilgamesh. Kor uncovered Gilgamesh about 30 years ago and undertook his trial, becoming the only being to ever survive the trial of Gilgamesh, and awarding him the title of the Immortal. Now Gladio seeks to do the unthinkable and conquer Gilgamesh himself. Failure is not an option. The story here is a strong addition to the main game and at least explains what happens when Gladio disappeared. Other than the scars though, the main game had no real indication that Gladio had gotten any stronger, so unless that is changed in the main game alongside the DLC's release, I'm concerned the conclusion here may not amount to much when we actually reach it. The dynamic between Gladio and Kor is great. They're constantly interacting with one another, talking about Kor's encounter with Gilgamesh, and giving Gladio a chance to express himself as a character in a way he doesn't really get to when he's with the rest of the bros. He still tries to keep it lighthearted when with Kor, but when faced with certain death, if he fails, he truly shows that he has earned the namesake of his family line. It's good that they constantly keep the two characters interacting because that was something that was strong about the main game, and their dialogue is updated quite frequently. The pacing here is especially important, as the DLC is set to clock in at approximately 2 hours. While the story is short, episode Gladio itself will come with challenge modes to offer up some replayability. As for the combat, as stated prior to this video, it retains many similarities to the main game of Final Fantasy 15. Gladio himself functions mostly the same as Noctis, though with a few key differences. For one, he has no access to warp strikes, so his mobility is much lower than Noctis. Often, enemies will be swinging at you in large hordes, and you can't just warp away if you get in trouble. This brings up the other change. Gladio doesn't have an auto dodge like Noctis. Instead, when you hold the dodge button, he'll hold up his shield, blocking any incoming attacks. Holding up the shield drains his block gauge under his HP, even when not being attacked, so be careful about holding it for too long and being opened up to some powerful attacks. You're also rewarded for blocking right as an attack connects, which will allow Gladio to counterattack. It feels nice to be a bit more grounded as Gladio, and you almost feel a little bit more threatened. In place of warp strikes, the triangle button activates Gladio's special attacks. As you attack enemies, you'll fill up a meter, and as the meter fills, Gladio gains access to more powerful special attacks. This is important when trying to take down large groups of enemies, as these special attacks are immensely powerful and hit a wide area. They are satisfying to use, though it lacks much in terms of engaging gameplay. Not too surprising considering Gladio is basically the musclehead of the group. As you progress through the demo, you'll encounter the Trials of Gilgamesh. Each one completed gives players access to new skills for Gladio, such as extending the special meter to grant him access to a new skill, and the ability to block even the most powerful attacks. You'll also encounter other battle mechanics, such as picking up large stone columns to swing at the stronger enemies, the ability to pick up smaller enemies and swing them around, and the ability to take down larger enemies with unique interactions. You gain these powers pretty quickly, so you'll feel like you're getting stronger as Gladio constantly, something you didn't really feel in the main game, like when getting a new royal arm, it didn't really make you feel more powerful, it was just a flashy cutscene and a new weapon. Going through these trials can also be tougher on players that aren't exactly good at this whole block mechanic, as you don't have the same amount of items you had in the main game, and have no way of just getting 99 potions or Phoenix Downs. I don't feel that the challenge, at least in the early parts, was high enough to really warrant ever getting through all of these items, but by the end of the 2 hours, there's a good chance that you might be hurting for a potion or a Phoenix Down. Ultimately, episode Gladio looks like it's going to be a decent first story DLC for Final Fantasy 15. It's tough for it to really compete with some of the recent action RPG releases, such as Nier Automata, or even the soon-to-be-released Kingdom Hearts 1.5 2.5 Remix, which releases on the same day as episode Gladiolus. But it does look like it will be a decent addition to the main game. Honestly, I'm a bit more excited for some of the other things coming the same day as March 28th with Final Fantasy 15. Apparently, alongside episode Gladio is the update to Chapter 13, which we have also gotten some more details on recently. First up, it's going to contain a new segment where you actually play as Gladio, while you and Ignis navigate your way through Grallia when separated from Noctis. There's also going to be some additional cutscenes with Noctis, as well as cutscenes showcasing what happened to Ravus and the Emperor. Finally, the 3 spells from the ring itself are going to be made much more powerful to really make it feel like it was something worth protecting. These are great changes to hear about, and I hope that they continue to incorporate things like this going forward in Final Fantasy XV, for the parts that just simply didn't feel complete. But anyway, those are my initial thoughts on episode Gladiolus. If you got to try it at PAX East yourself, let me know what you thought, and also be sure to put your comments in the comment section below, and like, favorite, subscribe, and share to stay up to date on all the latest for Final Fantasy XV. Thank you for watching, and until next time everyone, take care.